that's me, about to take part in my first EKS Championship event, and blissfully unaware of the chaos I am about to experience. We're back at a gloriously sunny Rowrah for 3 races, but first of all, let's hit the track for practice and qualifying.
Here we go.
EKS is a national rental karting championship, and I'm here today to test myself against over 50 of the UK's fastest drivers. The format for this event is so cool. You get a quick practice session to get your eye in, and then one flying lap in qualifying, which will set the grid for race 1. So, as you should expect by now, I spent my entire practice session figuring out what not to do, getting all sorts of corners wrong, and generally just making a fool of myself. The pressure was on, these guys are rapid. I didn't want to be stuck in traffic during my qualifying lap, so as the session neared its end, I started pulling over to the side and waving people through, trying to find an empty space on track. We'd been told that a green flag over the start-finish line meant quali had begun, and almost before I knew it, it was time to see where I stacked up.
Let's go, Ollie.
I was so happy with that lap. It put me 6th overall, out of 18 drivers in my weight class, not too shabby. But on the cooldown lap, I noticed something a little unusual with that front right tyre.
I am not sure if I ever think it. Look at this, I'm breathing on the pile. Is it okay, or is it?
No, my Danny's okay, lad.
Oh,
No,
I was worried, I saw it moving around, I was like, uh-oh.
No.
Maybe it was actually a secret advantage and it made me quicker. Anyway, I'm now starting race 1 from P6 on the grid. So let's get on with it, shall we? The lights go green and I get a cracking start compared to the guy in 5th place. I'm already past him by the time we cross the start-finish line. Everyone skates through the first chicane on cold tyres, and I'm checking over my shoulder frantically because there's plenty of drivers behind who are going to pounce at the first opportunity. We make it through there unscathed, and now it's the long drive up the hill towards Iredales. But again, no one seems to have a run on me, and I manage to hold the position into this second hairpin. As we head down towards the stewardesses, the guy up ahead gets it all out of shape on the exit, loses his momentum. I manage to just back off enough to get the run on him on the exit. We're side by side, up and over the crest, and heading down towards the right-hander of St John's. I've got the inside line, I keep my foot in, and we're up into 4th place. On the exit of Sunny Bend, I get an absolute shower of rocks to the face as someone up ahead's run off the track. I take a little too much curb on the inside of Paddock Bend, but we round the final corner and cross the start-finish line to complete our first lap in 4th place. The next lap was pretty uneventful until we exited the stewardesses and I noticed someone right on my tail. I tried to close the door, but it was a little too late and he's got an overlap on me, so I just sent it all the way around the outside of St John's, hold the inside for Sunny Bend, and we have fended off that attacker for now, but things are only going to get more difficult from here. As we exit the final corner, I know he's got a bit of a run on me, so I hold the inside line, but he manages to drive all the way around the outside, which then gives him the inside as we pass through the chicane. I've got a bit of a chance to get back alongside him, but now I'm on the outside as we head down towards McRae's hairpin, and I've just opened the door to a whole heap of trouble. The guy in the blue suit has gone down my inside, and then he starts squeezing me towards the grass. I make a really overdramatic gesture, and someone else has squeezed through in the meantime. We've now been shuffled back down to 6th place. Although Rowrah is probably my favourite outdoor track, they do have some real issues with kart parity. You can see it here as these guys just drive away from me on the straight. We're able to make up a bit of ground in the corners, but as soon as we get to a straight again, they're kind of gone. It obviously doesn't help that I mess up Sunny Bend, and my focus now has to switch to the karts behind, who are piling on the pressure. Somehow I manage to soak up the pressure, but then I make a big mistake into Sunny Bend, clipping that inside curb and running wide. I try to maximise the track on the outside, but before I realise it, the driver behind me's had a better run through the corner and he gets clean down my inside. We're side by side down the start-finish straight, he's squeezing me and I decide to back out of it. That driver up ahead is Ian, and we're going to have an amazing race with him later on, but for now we just need to survive this one as we're coming under even more attack from behind. I am really struggling to get this kart through the left-hander of McRae's, and I've had a bad exit which sees someone else go right down my inside, shuffling me back down to P8, and still there's more karts queuing up behind. What a fall from grace this is turning out to be. And it gets worse as someone else goes down my inside through the chicane. I try to fight it, but he gets the overlap on the exit and there's nothing I can do. The guy in the blue suit who started just ahead of me is now trying to go round my outside. I just managed to cover that one off, but we're now on the fringes of the top 10. Where are we going to end up? How much further can we fall? I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to hang on to this with everything I've got. Skipping forward a couple of laps later, the guy in the blue suit goes down my inside into Iredale's, but I managed to sneak it back round his outside. That felt like a great move to regain the place as we head down towards the Stuart S's. A couple of laps later, heading down towards the first hairpin of McRae's, I get so much understeer that I run really wide on the exit. I'm not sure if something's up with the steering. And look, he is back. But he's on my outside this time. I've got the inside into Iredale's. I've managed to get a great run off the corner, which serves me in good stead to keep hold of this position for a little bit longer. How bent is this steering column, by the way? That wheel is not straight. But anyway, my kart is becoming as wide as it's physically possible to make it, and pretty soon we're starting the final lap. I get a decent run through the chicane, don't need to defend on the entry to McRae's, turn left and the kart just goes straight. So much understeer that it means the guy in the blue suit is able to get down my inside and cleanly past. I do manage to close back up to him a little bit through the Stuart S's. I carry way more speed and I'm right on his tail as we come through the exit and round a little left kink before we head into St John's. Is there a chance for a last minute dive bomb here? No, he starts edging away. I carry a little bit more speed through St John's, get a good run through Sunny Bend, but he gets a better run through Sunny Bend and he's extending the gap as we head towards Paddock Bend for the final time. We round the corner, there is the checkered flag, and I'm going to finish P10. I'm a bit gutted, to be honest.
Well, I don't know how that went. It felt okay. I definitely dropped. Okay, I think I dropped like 2 films. There's tons of people ahead. I'm probably out of the top 10.
I've never been particularly good at maths or counting. Well, hey, it could have been worse.
What happened, man? I lost power. They wouldn't let me change. Oh.
Still, that was the first race, and we got 2 more to go. They can't all be bad, can they?
Cold tyres, man.
Cold tyres are fine. Just focus on the start, Alex. Alex? Well, that could have gone better. Me faffing around with this kart was going to become a recurring theme of this race, but first, as we headed through the chicane, I made a rather nice discovery.
Wow.
Yes, it appears that for once the racing gods have smiled down on me and I'm sat in a quick kart. The guy ahead in the red helmet isn't as delighted at my good fortune as I am, and I make my way past him pretty quickly, avoiding any eye contact because I don't want things to be awkward. Up ahead, things are getting a bit feisty as we exit the stewardesses. The guy in the light blue suit's been bullied a little bit and I'm about to ruin his day even more as I go down the inside of him into St John's. No dramas out of Sunny Bend, but if you look closely you can see Halley's Comet passing overhead. The size of that rock! And it wasn't the only rock that was going to come flying towards my face. If that was Halley's Comet, I was about to pass through a meteorite shower. Rocks aside though, this kart was feeling good. So much so that I breezed past Colin Marshall, one of the quicker drivers in this field. From his onboard you can see there was nothing he could do there. Ah, the joys of rental karting. Things were looking good for me though, until... As we went over the bump, exiting the stewardesses, my seat moved all the way backwards and now I was really having to reach to try and touch the pedals. It also totally changed how the kart felt. I was getting a lot more understeer, but there's not enough time to think about that right now. We are about to join a battle. The guy in the white helmet ahead is trying to signal to me to push him, but in my distracted state, I am totally oblivious to that and just focusing on the road and what is going on with my kart. I'm having to sort of relearn how it drives while we're in the race. It's now a lot more understeery, which is annoying because I felt really fast before. I'm distracted and I'm getting in my own head now, and that's really not good for racing. Clearly here the driver in the white helmet is a bit quicker than the guy up ahead, and I should have just pushed him through, but instead I'm just wasting time trying to battle him. As we go down the start finish straight, he's probably looking at me going, "What are you doing, you idiot?" I go side by side with him through the chicane, don't get past, and slow us both up. Again, he's trying to signal to me to push him. Again, I'm not looking at him, I'm just looking at the road, trying to go around his outside. Yeah, mentally I need a bit of a reset here. And now I've got a kart on my tail. That's James, he's coming through the field in another rocket ship of a kart. Oh, this is so frustrating. I should be through these guys now and up with the leaders. This stupid bloody seat's ruining everything. My position on the pedals is all over the place. I can't control the kart like I want to. And I know I'm slower than I have the potential to be. As I exit Sunny Bend, James is on my outside. The two guys up ahead are side by side as well. I'm going to try and stick down the inside. Poor guy in the white helmet must think I absolutely hate him because now I'm pushing his rival and actually working with his rival. I do get past the guy in the white helmet and now we're heading down towards the final braking zone. The guy ahead has got a straight line disadvantage and so I'm going to send a move down his inside. I hit the brakes, run a little bit wide, but there was no contact. I squeeze him out, but the guy in the white helmet and James have got past. Here's that move again from James's point of view. You can see me dive down the inside. No real contact was made. The guy did just try to hang it around the outside and get run a bit wide. That happened all weekend while we were here, including to me a few times. Well, I don't know whether he was just frustrated with his car or whatever, but he throws it down our inside into the hairpin, makes massive contact with me, basically used me to get around the corner and shoves both me and James wide. Imagine the cheek of pulling a move like that. And now James has got to run on me down towards the stewardesses. He's got the inside line, so I back out of it, try and go for a bit of a switchback. James does go deep, and then on the exit I managed to get up alongside him, but he's got a decent amount of engine power in that kart. Can I stick it down the inside into St John's? I do. We're side by side now into Sunny Bend, but going side by side through that corner really wasn't going to work out properly, so I decided to just back out. James is quick, hopefully I can follow him through, but the guy ahead was going to have something to say about that. Heading through the chicane, the guy up ahead is beating the steering wheel of his car. He absolutely hates it, and James is going for the same move I tried to make, but he does make contact on the apex, pushes the guy wide, and James was handed a penalty for that one later on. I have managed to slip through, however, and hopefully now we can start stretching away and catching the group ahead. What followed was James looking back over his shoulder and me trying to signal to work together. Once, twice, 3 times. No, I don't know. Hopefully you got my message. A little later on in the race, and I'm still really annoyed and frustrated at how this seat issue is costing me. Look at the understeer I'm getting through Sunny Bend there. I run wide and put my hand up because I actually went out of track limits there. Hopefully I haven't picked up a penalty. But it's so frustrating because I know I can be quick. If I sit a little bit further forward, my weight's on the front wheels and the kart is a bit sharper and less likely to understeer. But now I'm just wrestling it. Look how much speed I'm losing through the first chicane every lap. It's so annoying. James has actually dropped me at this point, so all my signals to him to try and work together were for nothing. We have managed to pull a bit of a gap to the karts behind purely on engine power. So at this point I'm like, screw it, I might as well try and fix this seat and see if that can just bring me back into this race a bit. After a couple of attempts, I think that's actually done the job. I'm just trying to push the pin down here just to make sure it stays in place. I am worried that it's going to move again, but I have got the seat back in position now, and the kart's feeling pretty good. Let's go after these guys and try and hunt them down. I think I managed to close the gap a tiny little bit, but then as I came through the rise in the first chicane, the seat moved back again. So once again, I fixed it. But it was really starting to piss me off now. And when the inevitable happened, once again, I did lose my rag a little bit. God damn, that was a frustrating race. Fingers crossed though, I'd have a better time in the final. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's not like someone's going to pump me off the track. I will say that I wasn't filled with confidence when I got into my final car. It was looking a little crusty, but I was going to have bigger things to worry about soon enough. My first one being the start. If you look at the grid boxes, you can clearly see we're staggered with a gap in between each row, but then this guy just kind of parks alongside me, which is a bit weird. I tried to flag down the marshal to let him know that something's going on. I think the guy ahead's trying to do the same, but nope, the whole grid's lined up behind me. Are we gonna... I'm waving... Nope, the lights have gone. Cool. I put my foot flat to the floor, but I might as well have not bothered because I'm sitting in a go-kart that is powered by thoughts and prayers. Look at everyone just driving past me. God, I take back everything I said about movable seat go-kart. I'll take that one back now if you want to give it to me. Right, let's just settle in and see what we can do in this race. Here is a nice example of what I'm working with. I am accelerating, although you wouldn't believe it because everyone's driving away from me. Although, we do make an overtake. Someone decided to spin out very generously and hand me a position. I will take that. Thank you, kind sir. Very charitable of you. And clearly he's not the only one feeling generous because as we go through McRae's on lap 2, 3 people drive into the wall. I am making overtakes. I am going forwards in this race. Wow. Switching to the drone view for a moment, you can see that one of the drivers involved in that crash is Ian. He's now a long way behind me on track, but he's going to cause me all sorts of headaches later on. And speaking of headaches, this fella drives all the way around my outside. I think about just ploughing into him. But no, I'm going to be on my best behaviour, and I've dropped the position. He's now trying to shape up a move on the guy in the grey suit and the white helmet up ahead, as we head down into the fast right-hander of St John's. Let's head over to Ant at the Skypad for some analysis on that incident. Our friend in the green helmet goes for a bit of a late move down the inside of the guy in the white helmet, knocks him wide, he bottoms out on the curb and then swings round towards me. hits me square on the side and sends me flying into the grass. And at this point, I just have to keep my foot buried on the throttle. I'm really scared that the kart's just going to get stuck on a little hill or mound somewhere out here. So I keep my foot buried, looking back over to the track to make sure I can rejoin in a sort of safe manner, having lost a whole heap of places. Now, I did say our friend in the green helmet went for a bit of a late move, but the guy in the white helmet did turn in as well and didn't leave any room on the apex. Was it a racing incident? Let me know what you think. Whatever it was, it kinda ruined my race. Or did it? I kept my head down over the next few laps and actually started to catch the guys ahead. I noticed that they were locked in a bit of a battle, and I did notice that I had someone else on my tail who'd been involved in that second lap crash, so I just moved over and waved him through. Hopefully I can use him as a sort of snow plow to get through these guys ahead, to move them offline for me and help me take advantage. Oh, and also, remember Ian from earlier? Well, there he is. That'll be important later. Just keep your eye on him. Next lap, into the first hairpin, the guy in the really light blue suit gets run out wide. He's right on the runoff area there, and I just don't manage to get up alongside him. I've lost my snowplow. Into Iredale's on the next lap, the guy in the light blue suit goes for the position, and look who it is. It's our sad friend from earlier. We both have a rather touching moment bonding over the fact that we're both sat in shopping trolleys before he waves me through and I take the position up into the top 15, which sounds good until you realise that it's a grid of 18 karts, but hey ho, I have had a big crash. Let me off. Up ahead, the guy in the light blue suit goes for the move around the outside of Paddock Bend. That's a wild place to try and make it stick. I don't think he's quite going to do it. They're now side by side as we head down the start-finish straight. I think that the guy in black's a bit slower. I'm not really sure where to go here. Give him a nudge. He gives the guy in blue a nudge. We all somehow get through that chicane unscathed. And then I'm still not sure where to go as I run into the back of the guy in the blue suit. I am aware watching that back that it looks deliberate. It 100% wasn't. I think I was just in shock that I was making another overtake. Looking right as we exit Iredale's, there's a disturbing lack of Ian. More on that later. But first, I make a shocking discovery in my underpowered kart. Yeah, that's right, the engine in this thing is so dead that I can take that chicane flat out. Unfortunately, the guy in the blue suit starts to gap me over the next couple of laps, so I think I'm just consigned to a slightly boring, lonely end of the race. But I don't think it's possible to be more wrong. You might notice that I've started glancing over my shoulder, even taking some defensive lines, and that is because Ian is hot on my heels now. This feels like I'm in some sort of horrible nightmare where I can't run away fast enough. I am doing everything here. Ducking my head down to get the slipstream, trying to maximise every single corner. Can I hold on? There's the final lap board. I wish I had a backwards facing camera on this. Ian is gaining on me so much, it's terrifying. Exiting Iredale's for the final time, I hug the inside line, giving it absolutely everything. Come on, little kart, you can do this. I take back everything I said, you're amazing. At the last minute, I choose not to defend into the Stuart S's, prioritising my exit. But still, Ian manages to carry more speed, and as we run down towards St John's, he's got the inside. He goes for a final little dive. I managed to keep the kart going. We've just got to nail Sunny Bend, which we do. Ian isn't close enough to get a run on me into the final corner, so I managed to open it up slightly and carry as much speed as I can through the exit. Ian's still got a run on me. He is there on my inside, and we cross the line with such a tiny margin. Whoa, I make my feelings for this kart known. What a race that was. So close at the end. Great racing from Ian. Overall, in my first EKS event, I finished 13th, which wasn't great, but then it wasn't that bad considering the day I'd had. Many thanks to Luke and the team at EKS. It's a fantastic championship, and if you want to enter, just check the website. Thank you to the team at Rowrah, everyone who joined me out on track, and you for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoyed this one, YouTube reckons you'll like this, so maybe give it a watch. See you in the next one.